Hello and welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. The lovely Cups family, that's what we're studying at the moment, the Nine of Cups. So, Nine of Cups, wow. On the screen, put keywords. Nine of Cups is about happiness. We did a tutorial on Thursday about this card. It's about wishes, fulfilling your wishes, and looking beyond what we feel is perfect. Try a little bit more and go a little bit deeper in search of what we are looking for ourselves. Happiness. So happiness, I'll put that on the right side for the Nine of Cups. If you don't know my method, look at the tutorials. You'll find tarot twists explaining, as we do every Tuesday, how to combine cards. I put a Major Arcana next to a Minor Arcana. Why? Major Arcana will tell you what's going on. Minor Arcana is telling you the background of facts. When you do a reading, always put a power in each position. That's the method that I teach. You can look at my courses on tarotwithanmarie.com. I'm revamping them at the moment until they're actually all up and running. I would ask you to be patient. And yeah, if you've got the old courses, they'll automatically update to the new ones. No extra charge, of course, all part of an update. The Chariot. So many different meanings, of course, but in the fourth house, it means our home life. If this pair came up, we'd be looking at our happiness in our home. It feels as if we look at that pair, we could actually say home looks as if it's a happy place, domestic bliss. Another word for Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment, feeling fulfilled within your domestic life. It's all to do with the major card telling you where it actually is happening in that person's life. Let me show you another example. High Priestess, look at that one. Many keywords for the High Priestess, of course, but to keep things simple, we go deep on Thursdays, but on Tuesdays, we keep it simple. I can't choose every keyword for the Major Arcana cards. We've done those tutorials. We're now studying the Minor Arcana in the Suit of Cups. What does the High Priestess mean? We've picked the word future. She's psychic, she's intuitive. What does it mean if you get that card on its own? Something revealed in the future. That's what gut feelings and psychic things are. Things you feel, or you are intuitive of, or there is some sixth sense, gut feeling, call it what you want to. There's a knowing about something in the future. We've been shown that this person knows or has coming in their fate or destiny, emotional fulfillment in their future position. They will be emotionally fulfilled. We could take emotional fulfillment away. Earlier I showed happiness, contentment, or satisfaction. The future would be happiness, emotional fulfillment, satisfaction, or even wish fulfillment. So something that this person has been trying to emotionally bring into their world, they want this in their future, and they're connected with it. There's a knowingness. But if this came up in a reading, how would you read it? You just simply say your future looks as if your wishes are going to be fulfilled. Let's change it to another card, the Magician. I chose manifestation. Somebody is looking to manifest something. You'd be able to tell them by the second card, Nine of Cups, which is what we're studying, that their wishes are going to be fulfilled through manifestation. Or we could look at it that the Nine of Cups is telling us manifestation is going to bring emotional satisfaction. Why emotional? The Cups family is all about the emotions, the water element that relates to Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But it doesn't mean we're only reading for Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Doesn't mean that at all, because the Cups family is talking about our emotions. When we come to dealing with court cards, that the astrological signs kick in with the Minor Arcana. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back over the previous tutorials. You will be able to see, especially in the Major Arcana, if you're going to the courses, you can continue to grow and grow and grow. The courses are very different. If you want to go simple and easy and just up your game a little, there are courses for that, right? And they would be studying maybe Major Arcana, studying maybe the suit of cups like we are, and leaving it at that until you feel ready to go and look at some of the others. So you can deal with them individually. There's no point me giving you 78 cards and telling you to memorize it. It won't work. Okay? You need to be able to connect to it in some way, but you need the tutorial to keep going back to it and seeing, why did they say that? How come that happens? Passionate Saji is one of our viewers, moderated for me here. I'm very grateful to her for that on my channel. And she's often asking something I really would like to know. I know it's linked to this. I think a typical example was the Hermit. She said, I know it's the past, but it means nothing to me. I don't know why. So we went into a few different reasons as to why it does connect with the past and how you might remember that and how it might mean something to the reader to connect with that card. It's not about memorizing. You really do have to study. If you want to be an intuitive reader, that's fine. You probably won't get long readings or paid work just on intuition. They'll be short and sweet, and that's fine if that's what you want. But if you want to go deeper and just keep exploring, keep going through the courses, because then we've got intermediate level and then we've got advanced level. And that is what I was always asked for. I can only get this far. People teach you the cards and you go, I don't know if they taught me right. I think I know what they taught me, but what if someone else is teaching something else? This is your chance to explore that. Okay, so I hope that helps. So manifestation will bring great satisfaction, and that's of the emotional nature. So you would know that. And so is it something I'm thinking? Yes, because of the magician. The magician has got 4 suits or elements on the table. So we've got the wand, which, let's start with the sword. The sword's on the table, thoughts. The cups on the table represents emotions. The wand on the table represents action. The pentacle represents materialization of something that's tangible. Don't always think it's money, that the symbol looks like money, but it's more than that. In the courses, you'll learn what the pentacle means and why. I can't do that here. This could be what somebody is manifesting with thoughts, emotions, absolutely getting that from the magician, but of course we're getting it from the 9 of Cups, and that's bringing emotional satisfaction. And we are all getting actionable actions coming from the magician. The magician is exceptional because it's all the elements, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, not just intentions, and the productivity of that happening. And it's understanding. I think that's what people want to learn tarot for. Many reasons, of course. You might want it as a business, in which case you need to be able to hold readings for that length of time to be able to do that. And that's what I've got over a decade of experience of managing psychics, mediums, clairvoyants, etc. So yeah, I know. And it's been able to be supported in the way that you need it. Okay, let's move and say it could be manifesting wish fulfillment, satisfaction, or emotional contentment. Okay, it's that. And then we've got the fact that we could be looking at making sure that we've manifested emotional fulfillment also. And our happiness is realized through our actions. We're always moving the card on the left, which is the Major Arcana, because we are studying the 9 of Cups and how it can change by moving the Major Arcana. So if we get the Empress, and we know that the 9 of Cups can mean happiness, or we know that it can mean emotional fulfillment. If we get the Empress, there's a lot of words it can actually mean, of course, but I had to pick one, and I couldn't go writing on and on forever. It's just to help you, and as I said, I wanted to keep it simple for you. Empress is about nurture, and when we nurture ourselves, we grow. We need to feel value in our life. It's about gentleness, growing, nurturing growth with abundance. Look at the Empress, you can see that if you got this as a power, I'm using the word growth, and this came up as somebody asking you, do you know what? Am I going to be happy? I've been a bit down recently. And you look at that and go, wow, so much growth emotionally is a fulfilling time. But it would also show that the Empress, of course, is somebody that's manifested that simply by she's valued herself enough. Maybe she's got emotional boundaries, so she knows what she doesn't want as well as what she does want, which is important, so important. We are looking at the fact that card would bring emotional growth. Emotional fulfillment will allow for growth within happiness if we've got this card. It's understanding the many meanings. I'm just trying to keep it simple. Go. Card on the left is telling you subject, what area in their lives, what's happening to them. Everything has a beginning, like the Fool. Everything has a middle, and that can be where we start to build, dismantle, struggle, or make progress. And then eventually we end up with completion. How does that affect us? All that growth is emotionally fulfilling. So it's buying them great happiness and can bring complete contentment. Let's get rid of the Empress, keeping a 9 of Cups. What about the daddy of the tarot, the boss, Mr. Emperor? For our tutorial, I chose ambition. Will I be happy in my work? Yeah. 9 of Cups, absolutely. You'll be very contented. And I want to be my own boss. Is it going to happen? This is a card of wish fulfillment. The Emperor is a card that means the daddy, the boss, being in control. Will I lose weight? Your ambitions will bring you happiness. You'll probably do it because you're in control. You're ambitious enough to make it happen. Will I own my own business? Yes, and it will lead to emotional satisfaction. I'm actually giving you an idea of what can get us. And of course, it's always relationships. But as I say, I prefer broader terms. People come for readings. Not everything is about relationships when somebody comes for a reading. It depends what kind of readings you give. If you're reading at psychic fairs or you're reading at shows such as My Body and Spirit, Olympia, London, of which many years of being there, yes, I have. What's that all about? It's about people that are looking to see what their spiritual developments and how they can enhance that and how they can grow. People in business there, connecting with other like-minded people that are probably going through some sort of transformation and want to learn more. They're curious, maybe right at the beginning of their journey. Or, a bit like, you will get lots of people that will go there because they're looking for an astrologer, they're looking for a tarot reader, they're looking for a medium, they're looking for a psychic, and they are very specific about what they want. When it comes to sort of social media type videos that we all see for social media, it's easy to do a quick video, short, vertical video, whatever you want to call it, that is trending in love and romance, which of course is incredibly popular and was on the psychic lines when I was on them and still is. I'm on my own now. I'm not responsible for 250 people anymore. And hard enough to actually turn around and create a business than to make sure that all of my readers were in a good place, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and healthy clients have difficult questions. And we're not always feeling as if we can be the one that may have chosen us incorrectly. Maybe it needs professional help of different ways, of which I'm not going to mention. You can imagine. Okay? Yeah. It's about being able to simplify things so you feel that you're growing in your tarot and you can read for yourself. How many readers did I read for that were either on different platforms or working on my platform? The biggest questions, I can't read for myself. If you use this method, you can, because you're impartial. It's a bit of a map. You could read it however you want. It depends how you phrase your question. You can read for yourself if you're sensible enough. Is my self-employed business going to work? You really want it to. You're going to put the effort in and you go beyond, absolutely beyond what is needed in order for it to succeed. What else do we have? Let's change the Emperor. Card 21, we are looking at the world, and the world is many things. But usually it's completing a cycle in one's life that brings about, and if we've got the Nine of Cups there, emotional satisfaction. Can you see that if that was a sword, it would not be the same thing at all? Number one, so it's Ace of Swords, it would be new ideas to do with completion. A double-edged sword, it's about what we're thinking, communicating, growing. But when you've got that second card, it's a clarification card. I've seen people do that with oracle cards, etc. But an oracle card, they're not deep enough sometimes. And oracle cards, I had a lot of readers, whether they were clairvoyant, psychic, star, medium, tarot card readers. They would get oracle cards out. They were not able to hold a call. I'd give a reading for more than 4 or 5 minutes because they were telling somebody, like reading it out loud, Janet and John book. And we gave them a chance, we gave them training, but if they insisted upon keep using oracle cards, they didn't actually grow. They couldn't give the customer perhaps what the customer was seeking, which is some in-depth answers as to, am I going to complete my exams? More importantly, will it make me happy? Wow, this answers that question, doesn't it? Completion of what? They're telling you. Do not be afraid to ask the client specifically, what is your question, in which area? They will say you should know, you're the psychic. We're not mind readers. We're not there to do that. We are there to answer somebody's spiritual journey and interpret what the cards are saying based on the current situation, background effects, and where things lay at the moment, and what would be the likelihood of happening if they would remain with everything intact as things stand. But sometimes people say, oh, I just want a psychic reading. Psychics will, and I have trained in that area, psychics will and do wonderful jobs. But you will probably find, and I've done this a very long time, that the depth that you will get out of mediumship or, shall we say, somebody who is clairvoyant, clairaudient, they may be able to give you certain things that don't help you to answer or solve things that you are asking about, and more to do with, most mediums will tell you about your loved ones that have passed, or something of a little idea. They're telling me this, they're telling me that. They won't say, but tarot cards will if you know how to read them. In work, you are going to complete, and it will be great satisfaction. About my relationships, okay? You will actually get to the point where you will get a relationship. The World card is there. It's going to happen. It's emotionally satisfying because we've got the Nine of Cups. A different story if we've got the Five of Cups, which would be completion and disappointment. You'd know completion, disappointment, put them together. Sounds like this ain't going to work. It's how you are putting it together. So your second card is giving you everything you need to know. And it will tell you which area of their life, in this case, their emotions, and spreads. There is the emotional component. We are looking at the current situation rather than a past situation. I'm on a tutorial. I can't go into great areas, but let's say this came up in finance. People ask about finance, and they're saying, oh, am I going to be all right financially? It's been tough, and I'm starting to worry. You've completed a cycle to great satisfaction. But there's nothing there that would really turn around and tell us whether that person is going into action or whether they're investing in finances. And I would say we'd be looking at calls for that. Emotional satisfaction, yes, that's not the same as financially stable, as in a secure and stable position within the reading. You would need to be able to do our method for that, to be able to look at their finances, other people's finances, and the influences at work. And is this coming in from work, or is this coming in from something that's lucky? People win things, money not earned. And you'd be able to look at that and see where that is. And so that you are really genuine and honest about saying, look, I see this coming from a legal situation, which will probably tell you some sort of inheritance or something like that. You need to know your cards to start with, and then you can really start enjoying the positions and what it is it's telling you. I'm going to put some keywords on the screen for you now. Let's change this card for this one. The moon. All right. With the moon, this is a card of many keywords, of course, but I'm just showing you the keywords that came up there with the 9 of Cups. Only a few, there are hundreds, and if you do the tutorials, I don't go on about the depth of tarot and the history of that. I go straight into the symbology, what the figure is doing, the colour of the floor, his shoes, what he's sitting on, his hat. I touch on it briefly here on YouTube, but all of that will help you understand what that card's telling you. And it's important to know your elements. If you know your elements, you can tell whether somebody is thinking, feeling, doing, or acting, or whether it's actually become something of a tangible or viable project. Always important. What we're thinking doesn't always manifest. What we're feeling doesn't always manifest. We can work hard. Doesn't mean we'll succeed. We might succeed in the work. We may not get the results that we're actually looking to get. All right. So, what's this power mean? Let's say somebody's saying, I have been thinking, wanting to change what I'm doing. I want to change career, not job, career. All right. Difference. Changing their job is going to do the same thing for a different company. Changing their career is somebody who is probably a doctor or someone who, let's say, has been in the educational field. I'm just using any example, a car mechanic, builder, or an architect, or somebody that has made cakes, that's in the cottage industry at home. I'm not trying to make out it's fantastic. I'm just saying they're going to change that. And they say, I'm thinking, I really fancy trying my luck at the art side of things is something I'd like to explore. And so let's say that this person is saying, what do you think if I was to actually eventually want to give up my day job? Could it lead to happiness by using creativity in art? And it's there, isn't it? A person, if they use their imagination, would lead to great happiness. If that person is wanting to write books, it will lead to great happiness because their imagination is providing happiness for them and for other people. These are the kind of things that people come at you for. They are looking for red flags to see if they're on the right path. Should they waste their time? It's tiresome, frustrating, they're not getting what they want. Any of those things can be a good enough reason to actually want to read it and to see what's going on. Should I move to another country? Would I be better off? Use your imagination there. And happiness is fulfilling. The moon card, of course, is a card of many things. Illusions, delusions, and of course, talking about the moon, full moon there in Aquarius, links to our social circles, politics, friends, network, social media, anything that connects to a group of people that we would say is a network within, like a neighborhood or a community or a group or politics, that kind of thing. That's really what Aquarius is linked to. So a full moon in that would be saying, okay, what is it that you would like to change in those areas of your life? I just mentioned that because we've got the moon card there. All right, yeah. The moon card could also mean, of course, I'm fearful that I won't be happy, or I worry. The moon card's always, if that comes up, we're always imagining fears and things that may or may not happen. Some of it justly forewarned, forearmed, of course. Okay, I want to remind you all that I have a podcast, Tuesday's podcast. That's where you look and you can see the playlist there, which I call Tarot Twist, because we twist it every week with a different card, with the card that we're studying. Right, so there is an example of playlist, and that's where you can find it. Tarot with Marie, my YouTube channel. do this one. Justice card. People go, what's that got to do? It looks legal. It can be that. But all sorts of partnerships. Kind of partnership, I went to business with my best friend, and you get this part. Emotional fulfillment out of that partnership. It'll be satisfactory. Partnerships will bring great satisfaction. Will it make me happy? Looks like it. Yeah. And okay, but will we actually make it happen? Partnerships will bring contentment, happiness, emotional fulfillment, and satisfaction. That's what that card can mean. It doesn't just mean legal. And somebody said, oh, it is a legal situation. Be very careful, because you are not there to predict the outcome of legal situations. And people say, that's what they paid me for. Offer to read for them on another question, I'll give the money back. Easiest way. Yeah. I know you're serious, and sorry, absolutely not. Most readers these days are pretty clued up about that one. Just say no pregnancy questions, no legal questions. But sometimes people say, oh gosh, I'm really worried. Am I going to have a fine? And it looks here as if it was a situation where you got the Nine of Cups, satisfactory conclusion. The cards are advising that. Can't give you any more information. Take this with a pinch of salt. I am not here to give you legal advice. Go to professional people for that. That's not what a tarot reader is doing. But if that person is upset, let her have a quick look at your well-being. It really is more about partnerships. So maybe the person that's dealing with this for you is the right person. They'll be very satisfactory, the person you pick professionally. That's how I answer it. The Death card of transformation. If somebody, like I said, one of the big shows like Olympia or My Body and Spirit Camden, Excel Centre in London, up north, Manchester, Liverpool, Sheffield. When people go to those big spiritual places, they're huge. You've got thousands of people walking through the door. And a lot of them are probably there because they have been through or are going through some transformation in their life. And they are looking to see whether they're on the right path. How does that work? Sometimes they're drawn to runes, crystals, music, visualization techniques, or hypnosis. Most people, when they are actually on a spiritual quest, do actually look at everything. The I Ching, Reiki, spiritual healing, oracle cards, angel cards, numerology, past lives, regressions, shadow work, all this kind of thing. Why am I telling you that? If they're going through a spiritual transformation, they may feel that they should be looking at this whole lot. Maybe they shouldn't. A reading would perhaps help them. But what they do want to do is work out what's best for them and what's actually going to give them the most emotional satisfaction in their transformation, and whether it's going to make them happy. Not a lot of people go on a spiritual quest, a feeling driven by a transformation because something in life has changed drastically and we've had to make a big old choice. And so we go looking for the answers. And sometimes those answers are not as clear, or they become as clear as mud. I always wanted to do astrology, but I'm looking at astrology books back in the 70s. It was too complicated for me. Nobody in my environment could help me. I didn't know anybody that was interested in astrology or taught it, I'm sure. If I was clever enough, I got an education that took me to university, might have been able to do that, but my parents weren't going to have that. To be working and to be happy and fulfilled rather than pursuing something where they would look at it as, how are you going to get a job doing that? I'm not gifted as a writer or journalist. It looked mathematical. And as much as I love astrology, it didn't appeal to me. The right people weren't around me. But at this point, I found the right teacher, I found the right group, I found the right people, students that I'm really happy with. My astrology group on Wednesdays. I don't teach it. I'm a student. Love it. So nice to sit back and learn something I've always wanted to. It can make you miserable doing something you were drawn to, but doesn't feel right. And so we can be at odds with ourselves, or we could feel, oh, Sensei said I should really look at chakras, and I should be looking at spells, or this, or that, and the other. We've heard it all. Whatever. Not dissing any of it, but people are not sure, is this right for me? I studied the I Ching. It's okay, but I can't see how I would actually help a client with the I Ching. Just didn't know how to. My teacher was showing me how it would help me. For one simple question, it seemed an awful palaver, that's my opinion. I don't diss it, I've got books on it, but it wasn't for me. Colour therapy, great. And then there's no Reiki, wonderful. But it doesn't float my boat. I don't feel the feedback from Reiki because that person needs to relax and get over that session. And yes, I'm trained in Reiki levels 1 and 2. I didn't go on to 3 because it didn't float my boat. I explored it. Sometimes people feel driven to keep going, so they'll come and say, am I doing the right thing? Is it making you happy? Yes, carry on. If you saw it's a 10 of Wands or 9 of Swords, it'd be telling you something, wouldn't it? Or a lot of 5s, person struggling. Of Cups, disappointments. Not everything's right for everyone. It's a matter of who we are. They are looking for a map based on everything I'm doing. Am I doing the right thing? That's for them to decide. Transformation, Nine of Cups. Happiness. If I carry on with my Reiki, yeah, you're going through a transformation and emotional fulfillment. Is it going to work for you? It's going to bring contentment. We're all different. I can't say, I don't like it, so you shouldn't like it. It's important that the cards are there and you're able to say, in your transformation, I can see contentment. I'm answering your question. I want to change career. And I don't want to do that banker's job. I want to be an artist. And you look at that for them and you get this power. In your transformation, you will find emotional contentment, which will lead to emotional fulfillment and, of course, happiness. So what great card 9 of Cups is. Just a few examples of what it can mean and some maybe questions. Don't think that's all the questions and that what I'm telling you, that's all it is. I'm sure I've not been asked everything that could possibly be asked in the tarot in the 30 odd years that I have been doing this. I'm sure not. In fact, it's longer than 30 years. I've just been a professional. That amount of time. Oh my goodness me. Too many to admit. Thanks for your company, everybody. If anybody is interested in what it looks like when I do a reading, it looks like that. And that's because that's how many cards I put out. And all those positions mean something. Hopefully you can see my spread. I'm using a pair all the time. On the left, it's a Major Arcana card and a Minor Arcana on the right. Brings me to the end. I'll see you Thursday. And because we did the 9 of Cups, you can guess which card we're doing next. Yeah, it's the beautiful 10 of Cups. And so there'll be a lot that I can give you on that tutorial at great depth. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we will keep that mana card and we'll keep looking at changing a Major Arcana card, which will tell us things. And if anybody's got some ideas or questions that they think people ask, or what if they ask this, or what if they ask that, or maybe you've got a question of your own, but I'm not giving you a reading. It distracts from what we're doing. Take care of yourselves and each other. Till next time, see you. Bye for now.